All right, welcome to another video. This is Tyron Hill, We Auto Detailing. Today we're going to be doing a Mercedes inside and outside, exterior, interior detail, vacuum wash, wipe down, and tire shine. So let's get started. So now we're going to go ahead and get started for our vacuum. We pull both seats up to make sure that we can get completely underneath the seats. So you can see me pulling the passenger seat up so that when we vacuum, we can get completely underneath those seats and we don't miss anything on the vehicle. And also when we vacuum, we start from the back and work our way up to the front. That's a strategy we use to make sure that we are cleaning the same way on every single car. The reason we start from the back to the front is because the flow of dirt comes from the back and then it works its way on up. Also, I believe once you develop a routine system for your detailing, you should always stick to it. That way, you're never missing any spots, uh, not detailing certain parts of the car because you don't have the same routine. So, keeping the same routine helps you stay on track to always detail your cars the same and not miss any spots on your detail. So, we always clean under your floor mat to help with your detail. That's how you get the best results. So this is a Mercedes. We're doing a detail, and I'm just going over everything and how we detail our cars. It's a live video because we like to show people uh, what detailers actually do as opposed to a cut and edited version. So again, we're moving our seats forward and backwards as we go to different areas of the car. Remember to make sure you get underneath your car mats. This is an important part of the detail. So because this car is pretty clean, we don't have to take the mats all the way out and remove them and then put them back in. So that's something to note. Whenever you have like cleaner cars, you can just, no, this is a Mercedes. Whenever you have cleaner cars, you can just leave the mats in and just lift it up and get under it. Alright. So whenever we find change in a customer car, what I like to do is I pick it up if I can. But if it's like a whole lot of change, then I just vacuum it up because you don't have the time to sit there and pick up the change for the customer. Yeah, it's nice, but it's dirty. All right, so as we are finishing up the vacuum, we're going to go ahead and navigate to start our interior wipe down process slash detail. Um, we don't have to do a shampoo here, but we're definitely going to steam clean it and do our interior wipe down. So that's our next step in this process, and we're going to go ahead and get started on that now. So get this detail going up. All right. So right now I'm just gathering all my tools to start my interior wipe down in detail. I'm grabbing my steamer. I have a brush, and I also have two rads, which will help me with my interior detail. So uh, I have to heat up my steamer in order to get it hot. So that takes a few minutes. But while that's heating up, I pretty much just start my interior wipe down by using my brush and rads. So go ahead and give y'all a closer look at my tools that I'm using for my interior detail. So I'm gonna fill up my steamer with water. It takes a few minutes to get hot, but this is a great steamer to use for an interior detail. You can find it at Harbor Freight, and it's perfect for anyone that's trying to detail a car and you need a steamer. This is like a great option for professionals and newbies because it's very low price and it also does a great job. And only thing I would say for new detailers or new people that just want to use the steamer is that you want to be careful when it gets hot because you can burn yourself and you can burn things in the car if you're not careful. So while the steamer is heating up, I got my rag here and I'm going to use these rags to go ahead and start my interior detail while waiting on my steamer to get hot. So the process that I use for my interior detail is I get a microfiber washcloth, and I use that to wipe down as I spray the chemical, my interior cleaner, which is a Simply Clean all-purpose degreaser. So I was able to wipe down the interior of the trunk, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the rest of the vehicle. I like to have my seats all the way up because you have those metal parts underneath the seats that need to be cleaned sometimes. I know this is a newer car, but you still want to try to get everything clean underneath the seats. All right, so I'll pretty much, let me test this out. Still not hot just yet. So while I'm waiting for that to get hot, I'm gonna just go ahead and clean my air vents. Uh, take my rag and wipe it down. I use two rags because you want to use one rag as like a wet cloth to kind of get it initially clean. But after you do that initial cleaning, you don't want to leave any like um, stains or anything on this glassy uh, particle, plastic, whatever you want to call it. So you want to use that dry rag to kind of like, I, I say polish, but you can use it for, you can describe whatever way you want to look at it. But just taking away the smears from the plastic. So that's why I always use two rags on my interior detail. So, and also on any plastic you may find in the vehicle, it's more than likely you want to use those two rags for the same reason, to just make sure that you're not leaving any smears, because that plastic is just like, it's just like the mirror. So having that extra rag to make sure that you get all those smears off is very important for the interior detail. So you can see I did my first wipe. Now I'm gonna go, I get my polish wipe to get all the smears off of it. And now I'm just coming around to uh, get the rest of those areas. But it looks like it's gonna rain, so hopefully I can finish before the rain gets here. But if not, we're gonna keep working until we can get to that point. But for the seats, I'm just basically just cleaning it off, kind of calling it a disinfectant because it's an all-purpose cleaner. So just disinfecting the interior, getting all the dust off of it. making sure it's clean, it looks clean, and that's pretty much it for the wipe down on the interior. Yeah, you want to start this process off with two clean rads at all times because you want to kind of bring that cleanliness to the customer's car and not bring dirty rags and stuff to use on the customer. So this steamer should be good to go. So I'm gonna use that heat to kind of get us going a little bit faster. The reason I like this steamer is because it pretty much kind of gets through all the cracks and everything of the vehicle initially and gets it all wet. So it kind of helps with the dust because it kind of removes the dust when it those liquids, I guess water, if you want to call it that, uh, flows through the material with this spray. So we're gonna go ahead and continue the interior detail on the front seat. It's pretty much the same process. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna start with the door this time. Get that initial fade out the way. All right, I did my initial wipe down on the door here, and then come back like I mentioned before with my dry rag and remove all the swirls and all right. So again, so this process is a lot faster with your steamer. So I highly recommend you get a steamer to help out with the process. But as I go through this, it's kind of the same thing. Doing our spray down with the steamer, coming back and doing our initial wipe on any areas that are plastic or glassy like. You want to kind of get your dry rag and remove all the smears off of it. And that's the process for the interior wipe down or detail. And you want to do this on every area of the car so that the whole car is decontaminated and has a clean, nice look. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing, but I'm moving a little bit faster as I kind of do everything together. Uh, so how long do you guys normally spend on a detail on the car? Uh, we personally spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours per vehicle, and we taking our time to get every part of the car clean, and that's how long it takes from start to finish on the vehicle. Okay. All right, so that's that, and now we're gonna just move over to the middle. All right, so this part always have a lot of fingerprints, so definitely want to spend some time to make sure this has no smears on it the best way you can. All right, so once we get past this middle part, the rest of the wipe down goes by pretty fast, and we can start on our outside detail. All right, so in the last phase of this, I like to have everything closed up when the customer comes so they can kind of get that revealing feeling when they come back and like look at the middle console to make sure we cleaned it and whatnot. Obviously, we're going to clean it, but to have them get that revealing feature that, oh yeah, you cleaned it, good, 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 that's a good, uh, that adds bonus points to your detail when they have to look and open it up and see that you cleaned everything. That's a quick tip, as opposed to leaving it open and it just automatically sees it. I mean, it's all good, but that's just something I found to do to give it a more clean look. All right, so moving on to our last two areas of the interior wipe down. Quick and simple process as we finish this up. All right, so the rain is starting to come down, so we gotta finish this detail up right now. Um, I might have to turn the camera off any second now, but actually finished up the interior right on time. It's starting to rain now, so all right, there we go. Go inside. That part is there. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and hit the door jams before the rain catches us, and hopefully we can at least rinse the car off and rinse this dirt off, and the customer will be happy to pay us, even though we wasn't able to completely complete the details. All right, so now we're just cleaning out the door jambs, which is the area right between the door opening. Hello. inside. Okay, that's a third row. A two. 150 inside and out. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we about to start our exterior detail. All right, so this customer does not like for us to put soap on the car, so he really just wants a rinse and drying it off. All right. So the main thing here is the windows. The client very particular about the windows, so we're gonna make sure we pay a little bit more extra attention to the windows. But I will say that I'm gonna go over my process for doing that, and you all can see how we actually take care of the windows on this vehicle. So to start with, uh, we got our rag here, and we usually do the windows first as we drive the vehicle. But because the weather is not that bad, it's not hot at all, we're going to actually dry the whole vehicle first and then go over the windows as needed because of the fact that, again, because the weather is not bad and we can actually uh, go over the whole vehicle without the windows drying super quick. So that's what I mean by the windows not being bad. But so now we just going over the whole vehicle, drawing it off. Yeah. So right now we just doing our interior wipe down, making sure that everything looks good on the exterior and making sure the windows are clean. I guess we can have a little quick conversation and we can go into some things to talk about a few things on the topic of like not giving up and also having faith. I think that there's a few things that I have been tested on recently, and I think that when things get super hard and you think about giving up, you gotta have the will to like keep going, but you also have to find out how to make that change so that you don't just keep going and making the same mistakes. So uh, you have to find the balance in between knowing how to keep going and not quit, but also learn from your mistakes so that you don't find yourself continuing to be in the position that you're in. So for me, I think that my biggest thing is figuring out how to correct my mistakes and learn from them and continue to like feel like I'm getting better. Because if you quit or you stop, you're not going to feel any better about that. You may have stopped the bleeding or stopped the pain or whatever you're going through by just stopping, but that doesn't make your situation any better. It just helps you in the short term, or it just changes your focus. But if ultimately your goal is based on this thing, then you have to keep going. Otherwise, you just gonna feel like you gave up. And eight, 10 years from now, you're gonna be trying again, or you're gonna be looking at other people who's successful at it and thinking that they're just scammers or it's not true, this is not possible, I'm not good enough. And I'm pretty sure you are good enough. You just have to be able to keep going when things get hard. And I think that by continuing to keep going, when things get hard, you'll start to realize that you can do it. And that's what I have learned with my two situations. There's something that I'm doing outside of my detailing business, and it's like I'm not making anything from it, but I'm also losing as I continue to try to learn this skill. And I think that by giving up or just taking a break, it would like pretty much stunt my growth because I could have been spending the time learning over the years as opposed to like rebuilding and restarting and losing that momentum of everything you learned during the period that you were doing that thing. So for me, I learned that I'm being tested and I was tested and I just needed time to figure out that I can't just stop because I built so much momentum and I gotten so close. And not only that, I got a taste of what it will be like to succeed. So for me to get the taste of what it would be like to succeed, it's like a slap in the face to just stop because it got hard or because I hit a challenge. So for me, I have to learn how to just keep pacing through and sticking to the plan because there's a lot of things that can swift you off your path, and if you allow it, then you can go on a spree. And like for me, just one little thing got me off my path, and it kind of messed up a lot of progress, I should say. And it's so easy to get caught up in that situation if you're not like 100% focused, or you're not like you haven't been through it enough to know like you can't allow things to come in your path because things can come from many different ways in different faces, different experiences, different things like distractions, set offs, like anything that can like get you off your pivot. It can show up in so many different ways that you don't expect, and you can find yourself in a bad situation because you wasn't prepared to stick to the plan because of something that stepped in there and got you off your pivot. So a lot of things come with learning experiences, but I believe that if you just keep going and not making those same mistakes, like I talked about when we first started the video, when we started this conversation, then you will be able to get through those things and come out on the better side of the deal. But sometimes it takes life experience to go through things to know what mistakes that you can't make in the future. And then you teach people what mistakes not to make because you've been through it and you know the trials and tribulations of certain things. And having that psychology to know like how not to make the same mistakes can make a huge difference in the trajectory of where you go after that. So I think that just believing in yourself and just continuing to keep going and not allowing things to get you off your pivot can really make put you on a positive trajectory in your life where you can continue to go through challenges and get through those challenges without quitting. And like that's how like I'm being tested right now because one of the main things that I listened to today that really got me through thought processes was like you're not hurting or you're never in lack. That you're not in lack. So to me, what I got from that was like basically like whatever I'm going through, is it enough to quit or because I'm in lack or is it enough to quit because I feel like I need to try something else because it's hard or because I'm in lack. And I feel like I'm not in lack and I can continue to keep doing the same thing I think over and over again and getting better as opposed to quitting because I feel like I'm in lack. And you never in lack because you won't be put in that situation if if you can't get through it. Like doing what I'm trying to do will test you financially, but if you just keep going through it and you keep learning the mishaps and the missteps and you keep going, then sooner or later, like those mishaps and those missteps will become minute, become small according to what you have been going through to be able to learn from the missteps. So just keep going through it and you'll be able to get through it. That's kind of what I'm getting from that, man. So honestly, I believe that there's a lot of things that help you get in the mind space of how to like not allow those missteps or what's that, man? Situations to get in the way of you continuing the journey that you're going on. And I think the mindset of that is basically just staying, active through, all the days that of your life on a daily basis. So for me, like staying active, uh, staying in the right mind space has been a very big, help to me to like gather my thoughts and learn from my experiences. And like one of the main things that like I refuse to let happen is for me to wish that I could have done that. Or like, dang, I know this is a way, I know that there's a way to do this a lot quicker, but I feel like it's too hard, so I quit. Or I took a break because it's hard right now and I can't afford to keep trying because I feel like I'm gonna miss out on the other side of the journey. But if you just keep going, sooner or later you'll realize that dang, you was just 1 week away from your success. You was just one more try away from reaching your goal. If you think about it like that, then it's like, dang, like you can't afford to stop because you don't never know when it's your turn. Like you never know when it's your turn. And when you quit or you stop or when you take a break after the momentum has been bumping and you may not be winning, but every day you're getting better by 1% by the experiences that you've been going through. Like I haven't known anyone to do something for every day for 30 years and not be good at it. And I think that by the time you get to that point, I feel like you should be able to make a living from it at that point by by keep going at it for that long. And if you can make a living from it from all that time, then Would it be worth it? I think so. So, just keep going, man. Just keep going. Don't stop. Stay at it because you never know when your moment gonna be coming. And whatever it is that you're doing is gonna pay itself off. And you know, I'm doing this as a car detailer and a business owner, but this stuff relates to any profession that you're trying to do or anything that you're trying to do. Like to go after something and have faith and keep going. Like all it takes is a little bit of faith and just keep going. And like that was my second subject that I wanted to talk about today before I sum us up was like having faith. Like just being in the presence of some people and like, you know, I was around this guy a couple of days ago and something happened where like, it can have been a setback for us. And like, yeah, like it in the moment it's frustrating and when something happens that's out of your control, but you have to deal with it. But at the same time, like he asked me, he was like, "Do you have faith? You believe in God, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." So you all right? Everything gonna work itself out. It's gonna be all right. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Like that's true. Like because no matter what happens in life, like like it's gonna work itself out if you have faith. No matter what happens, you may have to go through some pain. You may have to endure some changes. You may have to go through some frustration, some battles. But at the end of the day, like as the question happens, like do you have faith? Yeah. So it'll work itself out. It'll come through. It'll happen. And like I think this has been my year of being tested and like showing me how I can have more faith that things will work itself out. And like understanding that like that things will happen and you just gotta go with it's gonna always happen. So just have faith and it'll work itself out. Like however, like you gotta work hard. You gotta have like you gotta be smart. You gotta prevent things. You can't be just going around messing up people's cars. Like you gotta, you know, do the basics. But when it's stuff that's just out of your control or beyond your understanding, then you have to be able to like allow those things to play itself out. And that's all that I'm saying right now. So uh, those are my key points, man. And like having faith beyond the things that you can't control. And then like the second thing, what would be like, which is what the first thing that I talked about was like just not giving up or taking a break when things get hard because you never know when your moment is coming. And if you quit or take a break, you could have been ahead as opposed to starting back in the future and being behind. Or you can have been 10 times better or learn 10 times more things by just sticking at it and working at it and getting better at it um, throughout the process, man. So I hope that y'all got something from that, man. I believe that no matter what industry, what environment in, what your occupation, You can always get words. You can always get something from a little bit of motivation. Hey, I'm all right. Yeah, man. So that's all I gotta share with you. So like, just going through this process, watching this car be clean. I hope that I was able to help y'all, man. Uh, hope that I was able to bring any impact on anybody in this video. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, the like button, show us some support. The last step of this detail is going to be the inside windows. So what I'm doing is I'm pretty much getting a fresh, brand new towel right here, and then I'm gonna dip one of my towels that I've been using in some water, clean water, of course. Uh, all right, you have a great evening. Yeah. All right, so testing out these inside windows. So for the windows, I got a 2 rag method. It's similar to what I showed you all for the wipe down, but you got your wet rag, which I just dipped into water, and then you have your dry rag, and that's what you use to remove the smears or the leftover water from the rag after your initial wipe. I believe that this method can save detailers lots of money because if you pay for any type of window cleaner, you don't have to do that using this method, and you can save tons of money. All right, so we got a few more areas to clean on these windows, but we should be out of here in the next few minutes. So, all right, so we're gonna have to call the customer out in order to clean the rest of them. All right, those windows are clean. All right, so thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna go ahead and call my customer out.